if you're sitting there, you just turn on the video and you're looking at these action figures going, wait a second, did I click on the wrong video? Because I thought it was going to be the Marvel Legends collection video, not some DC Multiverse mega figures. We're going to get to that. I just didn't want you to sit there and have to look at this ugly face while I'm doing my stupid intro. There once was a guy in one of my comments that stuck with me. And he said, bro, I love your collection videos. I just hate all your stupid racist jokes. And all the times you just run your mouth. Can you cut that shit out and just do some collection videos? To you, my friend, this video is for you. But you're not going to get out of here without hearing some racist jokes. I work at this neighborhood called the Summit Country Club. It's this thing that we're building. It's like where all the rich, of the super rich people live in Las Vegas. It is by far the richest neighborhood in Vegas. We're building the country club. These condos are like 20 million. One of my co-workers, I usually drive in with every morning. He's a fat Filipino guy, got hit in his head, borderline Down syndrome. He always comes in every morning and tells me a joke. And he tells me with a straight face, serious. And I can't tell if it's going to be a joke or just something extremely stupid coming out of his mouth. He comes into work today and he looks at me and he goes, hey, did you know that Asians can only see in panoramic? And I'm sitting there and I'm going, holy fuck, was that a joke or is he serious? Because he's kind of borderline Asian and I think he's seeing in panoramic and his vision's probably a little fuzzy on top of it. This is the same guy that when we like shuttle in and out to work, because we're not allowed to drive all our shitty cars up in their rich neighborhood. There's this black couple that goes jogging. Mind you, the cheapest place in there is probably 10 million. The couple is like amazing, shredded, good looking. They look nothing like the rest of us. Going for a jog. And every time we pass him on a jog, I look over at him and I just wait for it. And he looks at the black couple and he's like, oh, there goes the neighborhood. Mind you, they're living in a $10 million condo. That's the kind of shit I get to deal with at work. You always want to work with a guy that tells jokes. We all bust balls. That's normal. But when you have a guy that starts your day off with a joke, funny or not, that's a good start to every day. We're going to take a look at my collection video. I finally got it set up. There is a bunch of collections that I would like to see. Do you guys remember the ice bucket challenge? When they would dump a bucket of ice over their head and then they'd challenge somebody else to see, hey, this is my collection, let's see your collection. We're going to start doing something like that. You guys know when you're watching your favorite YouTuber or any YouTuber for that and you're like, dude, his videos are pretty good, they're solid. Like how he, showed off the figure there. And then at the end of the video, he's like, that's it. And you're like, wait a second. You're just going to show me an action figure? Show me the collection. Because I have the same action figure that you just showed me. I didn't really give a shit about your action figure. I have the action figure. I want to see your collection. The whole thing with action figures is your collection. If you're buying this shit to throw it in a Tupperware, to throw it in your attic, your garage, why the fuck are you doing this? Stop wasting your money. If you can't get a decent display together, which I go on Instagram and there are some fucking amazing displays out there. A lot of you guys like to shop at IKEA because I see that you have the same case, but it does look clean. I'm not saying I got the best looking action figure collection out there, but mine is fucking solid. It's up there with the top. So while you're watching this video and then they never show you their collection, it's just such a letdown. It's just such a disappointment. Let's say your old lady comes home. She's kind of being a little crabby and you're walking on eggshells because you want to hit it before you go to bed. And you can tell that she's going in a way that you're not going to get that. So when you go to bed, she purposely starts a couples fight and you're like, I knew that shit was coming. You just roll over, go to sleep, call it a night. Then when you wake up in the morning, You get out of bed all grumpy and whatever. Fuck this. You don't give her a kiss. You don't tell her goodbye. You don't tell her you love her. And your phone is ringing before you make it out of the driveway. And it's her. And you're like, should I even take the call? Oh, fuck it. I'll take it. Why not? You answer it. Yeah. And she starts with, hey, babe, sorry. I was being a little crabby. Tell you what. Tonight, when you come home, first thing, as soon as I get home, I'm going to let you stick at my ass. And you're like, all right. All right, that's a good payoff. I'll stick around for that. Should be good. You go to work all day. You're like, shit, no matter how bad my day is, I'm going to get to put it in my old lady's butt when I get home. You get home. You're waiting for her. She comes home. You're a little excited. You're like, hey, babe. And she walks in and she's like, I'm sorry, babe. I know I promised you butt sex tonight, but oh, I got gas. I shit like 8 times today. And you're a little disappointed, like watching one of those lame-ass videos where they never show off their collection. And she'll probably go tell you what, I'll give you like a really good blowjob. I might even stick my finger in your butt to make up for it. And you're like, I guess that's good. Guess that's good enough. There's some collections out there that I would love to see. If you're buying this shit from people that don't collect, that kind of is a weird situation. So I would love to see the Hasbro team's collection. I'd love to see Dwight's collection. I know I've seen a glimpse of it. I don't really follow him on too much stuff. Maybe he showed it, maybe he hasn't. I'd love to see his. I'd love to see Ryan's, and most of all, I'd love to see Gangster Dan. Let's check out your collection. But before I show you mine, my ice bucket challenge is to the bug. Let's see your fucking collection, bro. Your videos are amazing. I know you think I'm a racist. After my joke, you probably definitely think I'm a racist. I put 3 action figures in my collection that are not Marvel Legends. You already know one of them is going to be Waldo. Let me know in the comments if you can find the other 2. Let's check this shit out. Alright, so my Marvel Legends collection in my toy room. It's the bottom 3 shelves of my toy room. I got it down low for where I can sit here and nerd out and just sit here and look at this shit sometimes. You ever have those days where you just come in here not planning on it and like just come in here and look at your collection for like a fucking hour and you didn't do anything but look at your collection? Probably the worst part of my setup is my lighting. I do have those bright lights back there. It kind of sucks. I would improve my lighting, but I don't plan on being in this house too much longer. But I can tell you what, my lighting on the next setup will be fucking gangster. So this is a collection. It goes all the way around here. No, this isn't the video. We're just giving you the glimpse of the sheer scale of the collection. We're going to start down here and work all the way around the room. Go figure by figure. Show you the highlights. Might show you some of the lowlights. Show you all the teams that I put together. That's kind of like the highlight of my collection. I've been collecting this shit since the day they've been making it. Even have all the 5-inch. Well, I started getting rid of some of those, but you gotta collect this shit for a long time to go this deep. This is kind of like the space section down here. We'll start down here. I got one of these teams. I did these little signs. You can get those things on Amazon if you think they look cool. And that's the one where they're making that Ronin. So when you get that new costume, you can put him in this team, and that will definitely round it out. And then Queer Star, he's kind of in the wrong costume. I wish I had a bunch of Silver Surfers, because Silver Surfer is in a shit ton of teams. That's the old Beta Ray Bill with those stupid ball hips, but that's the right costume for that team. Coming around here, you have the space section. Of course, Galactus. Back down here, you got all of my Fantastic Four teams. There's like the powered down version, the black costume back there. Sorry, I'm trying to work with the lighting so I don't flood it out too much. Then the team with the Bagman. Up here, some Silver Surfers. Kind of like a space theme. There's my Thanos is up there that I kept. On the scrolls, I went ahead and kept, I used to have a shit ton of those. Kept 3 of the old school Diamond Select ones. Those are my favorite scrolls, and I have the other ones back there. I only kept 1 Super Scroll. If you're thinking about shaving down your collection or building up your collection, I think I got it down to a bare minimum. And then I'm also going to show you the figures that you have to have in your collection to really make this shit pop. On the Doctor Doom section, you got the Doom bot right there. Definitely a grail piece. You have to have him in your collection. Right next to him is the white Doctor Doom. I mean, shit, I think those things are like 160 each. At least they were. My buddy Mark found him at Walgreens, the Doom bot, and then the white Doctor Doom I had to dip into eBay. That was like pro tip on that. You want something like that for Christmas? Just send your old lady or girlfriend the link on that and tell her that you really want it. Back there in the back on the Doctor Dooms, those 2 on each side of the throne. Those are the old ones where the faceplate comes off, and that's actually the Doom bot underneath the mask. So I used to have about 6 of those. I got rid of those just down to 2. Once again, trying to downsize. And up here are the Red Skulls. Red Skull's one of my favorite villains. I'd like to shave those down more than I did, but I kind of feel like every one of those is necessary. On the Hydra shoulders, I kept the old school ones, got rid of the new ones. I just thought those were cool, original sculpt, and I don't want my collection to look like every collection out there. Let's get caught up with some of the teams. You got Guardians of the Galaxy right here. Comic book. Young Avengers. That came as a box set. Could you imagine buying a box set and you get the whole team? That's how it's supposed to be done. Right here you have my favorite Avengers team. You got Ant-Man and Wasp right up front. The new Avengers. The key one in that is that Ronin, the guy on the right all the way in the back. Had a few of those. I only kept 1 because I needed them for that team. Plus, who knows when they're going to make a new one. So that's a must. And you have the Mighty Avengers. I think everybody's in the right costumes. I'll let you know what teams are missing and what teams are in the wrong costumes. But that one is pretty spot on. Coming up here to the Iron Man. You got to go old school, man. I mean, some of these Iron Mans are really old. I thinned it out. I kept like 1 of every costume. Tried to get rid of the extras. Coming down here to like the blue ones. I don't like the movie figures, but a couple of them were mandatory. Like that Disco Iron Man, that Hot Rod Iron Man. I don't think they'll ever do on comic book versions, and that was just something I really had to add to my collection. Up here you have the Baron Zemos. Used to have more. I got down to 3. Well, 4 if you're counting that one. Kind of couldn't really get down any lower, man. Like I got rid of a lot of action figures. I probably sold like 300 Marvel Legends just in the comic book ones because they had huge army builds and just trying to get rid of all the extra shit. Up here you kind of have like Iron Man villain section. I tried to do villains on the top shelf, the heroes on the middle shelf, and teams on the bottom. It didn't work out because some of it grew and shrunk, so I had to bounce it back and forth, but that was the strategy to try to keep for the majority of the collection. A couple of my favorite teams, the Savage Avenger team. You could do Brother Voodoo in a suit, which I was thinking about changing him out to a suit, but I think that he also wore that costume in the team also. You got to go deep, man. You got to get that Conan from the Toy Biz back in the day. That's just a really good figure. I think that it kind of held up. But that team's complete, and everybody, I think, is in the right costumes. You have the Dark Avengers here. Let me try to back the camera up a little bit. Dark Avengers. You see my little gay sign that I made? That's where I put my Void. I just figured that would be a good one. On this one, you need the Marvel Boy. I use this for a point or two. in the green and white costume, and then Miss Marvel in the red costume. They've never made that. That's why I don't have it. Everybody else is like kind of a perfect match. One of the key pieces is Wolverine's kid right there. I had the unmasked one. I got rid of that. Once again, just try to cut back whenever I can. And then you have the Avengers Assemble. Find them from the cartoon. Whenever they make these costumes, you're like, why the fuck did they make that costume? And then you put it in the team, and like, so like everybody in that team is in the right costume, which I love that shit when that works out. Then you have the Secret Avengers. Everybody, for the most part, is in the right costume there. Beast is questionable, but you got the cat face on that, so that's why he's there. You kind of bounce around a little bit here. Have the all new, all different Avengers team. Back there in the back, not one of my favorite, probably my least favorite Avengers team. West Coast Avengers. It's kind of weird on which lineup you pick on that. You need the, that's my Giant Man. He should be in like a red jumpsuit. If he was in a red jumpsuit, I would think that that team was pretty much spot on. There's so many variants to that team. It's kind of like he just put together whatever figures they gave you to put together. Uncanny Avengers. Almost all of those are in the right costume. Back up here to the Thor figures. I did get rid of a bunch of Thor figures. I kept all the important ones. If you don't see the Thor figures there, Thor's in a lot of teams, so he's probably in one of my teams. But that's them. Beta Ray Bill. I just saw that new Beta Ray Bill Marvel Select. He's way too big. I did want to get him and add him to the collection, but he's just not going to fit in. Then you have the Ice Giant. I know I don't do the movie figures, but when else are you going to get a Serta? That was something I had to add to the collection. Just some random kind of like Avenger characters right here. Coming back up here to the villains. You got to have Marvel Select in here because Marvel Legends just doesn't always cut it. I know I'm trying not to army build, but all the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents were different. I used to have a shit ton more of them. I got rid of all the ones that weren't that important. The most important one in that collection is Dum Dum right here. You gotta have him in your collection. Definitely a key piece, at least in my collection. Magnetos, most of my Magnetos are in teams. The Blood Queen, whatever you want to call her, however you say her name. Some more random characters down here. Hopefully when we get that other blob, we can try to round out that other Evil Brotherhood of Mutants team. And coming back down here to the bottom, you have the Thunderbolts team, the red one. And then you have another Thunderbolts team. Let me get down there if you can kind of see all of them. I know I'm bouncing around with the camera. Hopefully it's not too annoying to watch. Winter Guard right there. And then he made that Ursa Major that was like just heaven sent. He got all the House of M characters. If you don't have the House of M, if you have the House of M, you're an old school collector because those things are from way back in the day. If you're going to make another Iron Man, give me another Iron Man House of M. The Wolverine is solid. I mean, all of these. I think Hulk is like the weakest link to that team. They did Spider-Man, they redid him, so he's actually one of the newer characters. And then you have the House of X right next to it. Coming back up here, you have the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse. Just can't get rid of him. He's still by far my favorite one. These are the Beasts that I kept. The Gray Beast, the new one in the suit. And then you also have the Beast with the little computer that comes out of his chest. I just thought that was such a cool touch. We're almost halfway through. Sabretooth, that's another character that I had a shit ton of them, and I got rid of them. I only kept 2 of them. I kept both the Marvel Selects. I got the other one in my Evil Brotherhood of Mutant teams. And you come back down here. Another key character is that one right there. I'm pretty sure he's Zorn. They've never remade him. His mask comes off. I'm sure that they're going to remake him someday. It kind of seems like that's the direction that they want to go in. Got the Build-A-Figure Onslaught. You got the Magneto head, and then over there you got the Red Skull head, and then you have this one. That's still my favorite one, the old school Build-A-Figure. I feel like they really hit the mark with that one. Silver Samurai. I'm sure they're gonna redo him. He just kind of seems like one of those figures that they're just itching to redo, because he's probably like over $100 on eBay. Then you have Strife. They're redoing him. I actually just sold him to my boy Shannon. I got to get him in the mail. He's going to start screaming. You have the old 5-inch Wolverine chamber. You could actually came with this shit and you could squeeze out a skeleton. It was really cool back when they used to do accessories like that, play sets that could actually do shit. Excalibur. I don't know why you would do a box set and give us 3 characters to the team and not do the rest of it. That just really sucks that they do this. Wolverine, if you're not seeing a Wolverine there, he's probably in a team. You have the extension team, the X-Men team. That one's pretty much complete with all the right costumes, or real close to it. Have the Sentinels right here. The Mojo, I didn't get the box set. Well, I did, and then I canceled it once that came out. I saw him back at the store. I got him for like $43. He's like $56 now. That's the old Spiral. Probably keep her. The new one looks good too. Like, I'm kind of actually happy for you new collectors, because that is a staple in the collection. You have the Astonishing X-Men back there. Trying to get a good angle where you can actually see them. One of my favorite teams, the old school X-Men. This was a box set. You went to Toys R Us, you bought the whole box, you ran home, you got to put the whole team together. That's how it's supposed to be done. Then you have the X-Men, the blue team. That team's pretty much, I think it's complete. You can always add with, there's so many variants, but I think that kind of nails it. And you have the X-Men, the gold team. That one's also complete. The giant size X-Men. Everybody's waiting for a redo on that Banshee before they can put this team together. I mean, I don't really like redos, but I have to admit, we are due for a new one of that. Then you have the X Factor. That team is complete. But you have the shitty Wolfsbane figure from way back in the day. What the fuck are you guys waiting for? Make us a new Wolfsbane. You know that we want it. You know that we need it. I don't know what the fuck you're waiting for. This is kind of like the Hulk collection. I got She-Hulks back there. Down to 3. Well, I actually got 4, but she's in a team. Impossible Man, definite key to your collection. That Silver Surfer is a key to your collection. Smart Hulk. World War Hulk, all of these Hulks. So like, I got down to the bare minimum on Hulks, and you need every one of these. Doc Samson, an absolute must. I'm sure a lot of you guys want to redo that figure, but God, you gotta have him in your collection. If he's not a shit ton, just go ahead and pick one up for you have him. You have the Son of Hulk right there. This one, Borg. I mean, that's how you're going to do that. Hulk way back there, that's like in a team. If they have the Gray Hulk, if they ever complete that team. That other mutilated looking Hulk thing, pretty sure that's the 4 Horsemen Hulk. I'm sure I'm getting half of this shit wrong, and Shannon's going to correct me in like 20 times in my video, which is cool. That's cool. Should actually do like one of these collection videos with a collabo with somebody that actually like knows shit about this, like X-Manny or something. Another key to your collection right here. If you don't have him in your collection, I don't really give a fuck about your collection. Still probably one of my favorite Marvel figures, my Marvel character. They got the Mecha Hulk with the Gremlin. Gremlin actually fits inside of his back. That's an absolute must. Up here, you need the old school Wendigo. One of them is Wendigo, and one of them is Yeti, so you need both of those. And then you also have to have your Sasquatch. Your Abomination, I'd love Abomination. I got down to 2 of them. That's the Marvel, the Diamond Select Hulk. I went ahead and put the robot head on that. So he's like kind of up here with the villains next to the leader. That accessory is like for the old school leader. That was a definite must. Fin Fang Foom right here. The fake Tarzan figure and Jane figure, those were amazing. Don't plan on them ever redoing that because they'll never do tits and a bikini like that on a female figure ever again. The little girl, she was like from the 5-inch. I have no clue what her name is, but I'm sure there's plenty of dudes in the comments that do, so stick around for that. The X-Force Cables team. This is my Pharaoh. Come on, guys. If I have to go this old to put a Pharaoh in this team to complete it, what are you guys waiting for? Because it's a new mold and you don't have it in the budget till like 2026 or something to get that done. Uncanny X-Force. I mean, it's kind of like I just got everybody bunched in there all at the same time. I don't think that they were ever in the team all at the same time, but that's how I have my shit set up. The Inhumans, we're finally getting another character to add to that team. You got to get the Mezco Lockjaw. I don't see how Marvel Legends is even going to fuck with that after that, because that thing is just action figure fucking perfection right there. Up here you have Jack-O-Lantern and Mad Jack, so you got to have both of them. I tried to shave that down. Realized they are two different things, so I kind of had to have both in the collection. Coming down here, you have the New Mutants. Far from complete. I know Magic's in the wrong costume, but I'm not real good at customs, so that just kind of is what it is. Serpent Society way back there in the back. The team that they will never complete, and every figure to that team is just a shitty, lazy repaint. I would like if they'd give us some of the actual cool characters, but that would require them giving us shit, so that probably won't happen. Up here you have some more villains. One of the key ones is that Purple Man, which I forgot to show off like Dread Knight, but he's over there. Maybe you caught him. But there's Purple Man, a must in your collection. Gotta have him. There's a Tarantula back there. I think that's Tarantula. Is that Tarantula? I think they're redoing him. There's Man-Wolf next to him. Some more Spider-Man villains up here. There's that amazing Molten Man that they just pulled off. Coming down here, you have like some of the hand shoulders. The Deadpool shit. Who's that? Bloop or whatever. That's definitely a key piece. You have to have him in your collection. This one right here was a Mayfex, like the evil Gwenpool. That's a definite must. Gotta have her. The Sinister Syndicate. We're missing the classic Boomerang to complete that team. I don't know if they'll ever do that, so might have to do a custom on that. If you did a custom of that, hit me up. Let me know how much like something that's going to set me back. The Boomerangs, Sinister 6, although I have my Speed Demon up here. I got to put him back there. I need to get another Speed Demon. Whenever they decide to round that team out, I'll go ahead and get another one. The New Warriors, shit, they have so many holes in that collection. Who knows if that thing's ever going to come around. There's a new Negative Man that I just reviewed. The Kingpin and like the suited bad guys. The Spider Women. Another key piece in your collection is this Cyborg Spider-Man right here. An absolute must. You got to have him in your collection. Coming up here, you got like some more Spider-Man villains. The Hobgoblin, Green Goblin. That Hobgoblin there. My boy Shannon told me, because I had the old Toy Biz Hobgoblin, he said rip the head off of that, Dremel it out, and put that on that body, and you'll have the best, most accurate Hobgoblin ever of all time. So there he is. If you want to do it, if you want to have one that looks right, that's what you got to do. I mixed up the gliders a little bit. They have so many cool gliders. I tried to do a little bit of everything. Coming back down here to the teams, you got Maximum Carnage. We still need Carry On to complete that team. The Sinister Six, that team's complete. Everybody's in the right costume. A few different Defender teams. There's one with the red She-Hulk in there. Giant size Defender team. That's my favorite Defender team right there. Let me kind of reposition. Let's go back up here to the top. We got Carnage. This is kind of like where some of the symbiotes are. Toxin. Another key piece is that old Fag right there. Talked to some dude. He said they got the name wrong on the package. That's an old one, man. He's like 30 years old. That's definitely a key piece of my collection. Something I'm really proud of. Anti-Venoms. This is right into the Venoms. I kind of showed you these in my last video. Null back down there. Let's jump down. We'll work it back over. My Midnight Suns. We definitely have a few holes in that collection. Hopefully they'll complete that someday. Ghost Rider. There's the Devil. That's the only one you guys are ever going to get right there. Get your ass on eBay and pick one up. Don't worry. I'm sure they're going to remake them. There's your Blackheart. Another key piece in the collection. More teams. I just showed this one off my last video. Life Foundation. I think I called it the Future Foundation. You guys had to fuck with me. Even though the sign said Life Foundation, but there's that team. Fearsome 4. Howard the Duck. Definite a key piece. The real one, not the new shitty one. That's going to cost you an arm and a leg. You need him to complete that team. You have the Cabal back there. Everybody is pretty much complete in the right costumes. You got the Illuminati right here. Everybody's in their complete costumes. Hellfire Club. We still need the 2 fat dudes, which we'll probably never make. And I kit bashed the black guy back there. I don't know if you can see him back there. Back there hiding. So that team is real close to being complete. Have the reverbs right here. That's my custom kit bash. Pretty Boy there. They already announced they're making a new one of those. And then we need a Pierce. And then that team will finally be complete. That's the collection. Let me show you a couple key pieces that I forgot. While I got you here, I figured fuck it. There's the Dread Knight right there. That one. And definitely need him. And another old school alien. One of my favorite ones in my collection. I should have showed you this one. I got him back here hidden for some reason. This guy. Whoo! This figure is fire. His mask comes up. If I can get it with one hand. It comes off. I think we're good. Really appreciate all the views. Even though my last 2 videos were a little light. Hopefully this one will hit 5 grand. If not, you're not going to hear from me for quite some time. Let's go, Brandon.